let's go on to the Tampa Bay Rays. They added Nick Martinez as a starter, 1 for 13. Steven Matz to relieve, 2 for 15. Cedric Mullins, 1 for 7. And Jake Fraley, 1 for 3, an outfielder. They traded for Gavin Lux, the infielder from Cincy. Steven Wilson, a reliever from the White Sox. Ken Waldachuk, a starter from Atlanta. Ben Williamson, an infielder from Seattle. Yoendrys Gomez, a pitcher from the White Sox. But they lost Adrian Hauser to San Fran, Christopher Morel to Miami, Stuart Fairchild to Cincy, Pete Fairbanks to Miami, Shane Baz they traded to Baltimore, Jake Mangum, an outfielder, they traded away to Pittsburgh, Brandon Lau, second baseman, traded to Pittsburgh, Eric Orzi traded to Minnesota, Cameron Misner traded to Kansas City, Mason Montgomery traded to Pittsburgh, Josh Lau traded to the Angels, Everson Pereira traded to the White Sox. So they made a lot of moves, and the Rays' MO the last decade or so has kind of been high turnover, high upside.
Don't spend money, but find a way to compete.
And for a while, that seemed to be what was keeping them ahead of the fray in the league.
I mean, I think the division's just caught up to them.
Well, so is that organizational model where you have a lot of platoons, you focus on defense flexibility. Let's see, they had that pitching lab that just was ahead of the game. They have constant turnover in the lineup. Is that still ahead of the curve, or has everybody in the league and the division caught up to how they play the game?
I don't think it's dead, because I still think that, I mean, how many games did they win last year? 80?
They won 77.
77. They still flirted with 80. They got a young player in Caminero is getting better. Their pitching staff isn't too bad. Rousmanson, Pepiot, if McClanahan could stay healthy, but yeah, Mats. I'll be surprised if Yandy Diaz is on the team past the trade deadline. He's a guy that we heard at last year's deadline, and he didn't get moved. I honestly think the division's just too competitive right now for their play style. But the second you count out the Tampa Bay Rays, they go and win 90 games and they win the division. So I know better than to completely write them off. They're going to be an annoyance. They're going to be a really competitive team and a thorn in the side of every team in this division that's trying to compete right now. I just don't think it's their turn to be good, but I don't think that we need to rip into them organizationally the way that we do the Rockies or the White Sox or the Athletics. Like it's still, they
were the gold standard.
You wish they'd spend more money, obviously, but at the end of the day, they've been pretty competitive for the last 2 decades. They've had some really strong players, from Longoria to Rosarena to now Caminario. Like, it's not a team that doesn't have good players ever.
Right. I mean, we also know that they did try to trade for Ohtani at the deadline before he was a free agent, and they probably made the best offer from everything that's been released. And, Caminero headlined that. Imagine Caminero on the Angels, Ohtani getting half a season in Tampa Bay. Like, it's not like they don't try when they're good, but they're missing. Is it money, or just is it cyclical with the Rays?
Both.
And I think the East, the AL East finally kind of got better than it was for a while. Because, you have like the Red Sox starting to come back. And the Blue Jays, Yankees are still good, and even the Orioles got better. So it's like,
this is always one of the most competitive divisions in baseball too. It's not like there's like ever a down year. Listen, we all know that the Rays can sometimes be viewed as a cheap organization, but I think when you have the track record of developing talent the way that they do, they were in the World Series not too long ago, so.
And they put together competitive teams year in and year out.
I think if you're a Rays fan, you can trust the process. Do I think I'd have high hopes for this year? Not necessarily, but would I completely rule out a playoff season? No.
Now, is there an impact bat on this team other than Caminero? Is there somebody we trust?
I like Diaz. I think Diaz is a good bat for sure.
Good bat, but also he's somebody that we're surprised he hasn't been moved.
But I'll say this, with the Rays, that's kind of the beauty of their model. You go into the year and you're like, who the best players are, and then all of a sudden they got a couple guys that are producing more than you thought they would.